की जय हो। हरि नाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय हो। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन, यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे, जय राधा गिरिधारी राधे, जय गोविंद राधे, जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय sorry for my voice, गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय, निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। Today we are going to sing Yugal Geet. We both are going to do Samta Mataji and me. Hare Krishna. सप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी, वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद, जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे, जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण श्यामा गौरी नित्य किशोरी प्रीतम जोरी प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
रसिकर पीलो छैल छुरी गुण वीलो श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण
रास बिहारिणी रस विसतारिणी प्यूर धारिणी प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
नव नवरन्ति नवलतिबन्ध श्याम सुहांगे श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण
प्राण प्यारी रूप जयारी अति सुकुमारी प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
मन मानो सुंदर वार्तर श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण
सोमासेनी ओ भासे बेनी कोकिल बेनी प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
कीर्तिवन्त श्री भगवन्त श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण
चंदा बदनी कुंदारनी सोमा सदनी प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
परम उदारा प्रभापा अति सुकुमार श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण
हंसा गवनी राजती रवनी क्रीडा कवनी प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
रसाला नयन विशाल श्री परम कृपाला श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण
कंचन बेली रति रस रेली अति जल बेली प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
सब सुख सागर सब गुणाग रूप उजागर श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण
रवनीरम्या तरतरतम्या गुणागम्या प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
धाम निवासी प्रभ प्रकाशी सहज सुहासी श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण
शक- शक्ताहारिणी अतिप्रियवादिनी पूर्वोन्वादिनी प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
अंग रंग टोना सरस सलोना सुभग सुसोना जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण
राधा नामिनी गुण अभिरामिनी हरिप्रिय स्वामिनी प्यारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
हरे हरे हरि हरे 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 श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण हरे 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 कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय राधे जय श्री कृष्ण जय जय राधे जय राधे जय राम जय गौर गौरानिताय जय गौर जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरु Hare Krishna. Translation. Eternal glory and supremacy to Sri Radhe and to Sri Krishna. Sri Radhe is fair of form, ever youthful and beloved companion. Sri Krishna is full of love and supreme appreciator of devotional sentiment, cheeky, handsome lad, replete with all good qualities. Sri Radhe plays in the great circle dance, spreads the mood of pure love and keeps the beloved in her heart. Sri Krishna sports ever fresh colors, fresh youth, with a body covered in three places, dark and beautiful in every limb. Sri Radhe is more dear to Sri Krishna than his ever life. Her form is beautiful and full of light, and she is very sweet maiden. Sri Krishna enchants even Cupid, is the giver of great joy and is the most beautiful life partner. Sri Radhe is the highest loveliness, more beautiful than the goddess of love, and her voice is sweeter than the nightingale. Sri Krishna is the most famous, the husband of the goddess of love and the supreme personality of Goddess. Sri Radhe has a face of like moon. Her teeth are like jasmine buds, and she is the treasure store of all beauty. Sri Krishna is most generous. the most powerful and very lovely youth. Sri Radhe, her gait is swan-like. She is in charge of the loving pastime and therein invents many sweet games and lovely exchanges. Sri Krishna's beauty is fascinatingly lovely. His eyes are gorgeously white, and he is most graciously generous. Sri Radhe is like a golden vine, swells the nectar of love and extremely attractive. Sri Krishna is the ocean of all joy and treasure of all good qualities and immense beauty. Sri Radhe, her voice makes the sweetest sound and her qualities are incomparable and unapproachable. Lord Sri Krishna lives in the holy realm. His light is very powerful and he is always naturally smiling. Sri Radhe embodies the bliss potency, speaks very speaks lovingly, and her heart is full of joy, is fully joyous. Sri Krishna is enticingly and magically lovely in every limb. His whole form is full of nectar, and he is most deliciously attractive. Sri Radhe, her name is Sri Radhe. She is beautiful because replete with all the best qualities, and she is the Lord Sri Hari's beloved lady. Sri Krishna is the remover of all sorrow. We praise him, we praise him, we praise him. Glories to Sri Radhe and Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. And Charu Prabhuji, you're on mute. Hare
Sorry. So wonderful, both of you. So beautiful, very coordinated singing. And Raksha Mataji, good to see you back with us. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So let's offer our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shivta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Prabhupada Jai Shri Prabhupada Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namah. O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangupangostra Parshadam Yagnahi Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Su Medhasam. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform countless chanting to worship the Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Sastra Vicharnaik Nipunau Shadadharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tripuvane Manyau Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Padarvinda Bhajana Anandena Mattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisance under the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Dasa Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in strategizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Hare Krishna again. Please accept my humble obeisances. All British Prabhupada. So we will continue with lesson 44, the second half of it. But before I begin, let's hear the recap of the first half. So I'll show my PowerPoints also so just to help the person who is recapping. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam Prabhuji. Yes, we are going through Sri Jaiva Dharma and Prabhuji, His Grace Charuchandra Prabhuji, yesterday briefed about lesson 44, which is chapter 36 from the book. And Prabhuji explained that previously how Alambana and Uddipana, it leads to Anubhavas. And yesterday, Prabhuji explained that in lesson 44, it is the Sthai Bhav and stages of Rati, as we are going through Madhurya Ras and Rasa Tattva, in which the constituent personalities, their moods and activities, they are briefed. So, yes, it included the several themes, 9 themes the chapter includes, and so that's why it has been categorized into 2 parts. So yesterday we saw 4 themes. So it is the Madhurya Rati, which is a Sthai Bhava of Madhurya Ras or Madhur Ras. So Prabhuji explained the 4 themes. That is, first one, the 7 causes of Madhurya Rati. Then second is Rati. Third one, how it progresses up to Mahabhava stage. And the fourth one, that how it leads to Prema. So Prabhuji will be dealing today with how Prema leads to Sneha, Mana, Pranaya, Raga, Anurag, and different kinds of Mahabhav. It is the Madhurya Rati, which is a Sthai Bhav of Madhurya Ras. The causes of Madhurya Rati, how it becomes manifested. So Prabhuji explained the 5 progressive stages, how Rati goes from Prema to different kinds of Mahabhav. So among the 7 stages, which has been there in case of Krishna Nishta, which is a Swarup Siddha one, and how it leads through the different stages, which begins from Abhiyoga, that is expressing one's bhava, and the personally reveals or someone else does in that case. The second one, it is Vishaya. All five senses that are engaged in Madhurya Rati, that is sound, touch, form, taste, and fragrance. Then, which leads to the Sambandha, the glories of four aspects with respect to lineage, beauty, qualities, and pastimes, and how that relationship it goes further up to Abhimana. Prabhuji explained very well that it is nothing but pride and it is Gaurav, and how it leads to Tadiya Vishesh. That is one who constantly remembers him, that is Krishna's footprints, frames, and Vrindavan Leelas and pastimes, etc., which leads into the next successive stage, that is the Upama. The several analogies they are used so as to explain it. And seventh stage is the Swabhava, the nature that is self-manifest, which is of two kinds. Swabhava. One, it is Nisarga, and the second one is Swarupa. So, in case of Nisarga, the person has got the habit of repeating this thing, that is Smaran and etc. And it leads to Krishna Rati. And yes, by repeated past rendering of devotional service, it increases. So in case of Swarup Siddha, so Swarupa, it is of three times, which is unborn, beginning, and self-respect is called as Swarupa. That is called as Swarup Siddha Lakshan. And it is of three kinds. It is Krishna Nishta, it is Lalana Nishta, and it is Ubhay Nishta. So in case of Krishna Nishta, there is faith in Krishna. In case of Lalana Nishta, there is faith in the gopis, what we do see. And then is Ubhay Nishta, that is faith in both Krishna and the gopis. Yes, it is Krishna Rati of the gopis love that occurs naturally, that is Swarup Siddha and is not arose by any of these seven causes. While as Rati of Sadhana Siddhas and Nisarga Siddhas is awakened by these seven stages, and it is Raganuga Bhakti and not by Vaidhi Bhakti. So by practicing Raganuga Bhakti, so the devotee can attain the Lalana Nishta, that is the, as we do see the faith in gopis. Then Prabhuji explained three kinds of rati, the Sadharan rati, Samanjasa, and Samarth rati. So many times Prabhuji has explained about Kubja also. She was in the mood of enjoying Krishna and Sambhoga, that is with union. And so it has been considered as inferior one, the rati by Kubja. This Samanjasa rati, we do find that all queens from Dwarka, they are referred as Samanjasa Rati because they used to follow the code of conduct which has been there because of marital relations and which honors the institution of marriage. But they were in feeling of Sambhoga, and so there was a feeling that there was a desire for Sambhoga which is separate from Samanjasa Rati, and it is not possible to control Krishna. And there was feeling that I am his wife and he is my husband, and so it is limited to which is limited with such sentiments, and it has been implicit right of union. Then the next one, which is the supreme, that is Samartha, that is competent ratis. Those are called as the Vraja Gopis. And so as they are in the Pakya mood, as it is a conjugal ras, Madhurya Rati is, and which mostly considers about the Pakya ras, and all the Vraj Gopis, they are situated in the Pakya ras. So it is considered as the most competent rasa, and the gopis, they are the most competent ones, that is Samartharati. And so there is no desire for Sambhoga, but they are in separation. They are in the mood of separation. And so relatively, the Vraja gopis who are the Samartharati, so they do give pleasure to Krishna rather than enjoying Krishna. So then Prabhuji explained about the sequential progression from Madhurya Rati to Mahabha, how it leads to and several analogies, that is upama, these are given, and how the five kinds of devotees attain it, we can see. So Madhurya Rati and the Prema, so they are given the analogy of the seed of sugar cane. Then Sneha is the plant, and Mana, and then which leads to Pranaya, which is nothing but cane juice and molasses, and which leads to the good, which is called as Raga, and the sugar granules called as the stage of Anuraga, and Mahabhav, the topmost one. It is referred as the rock candy. so, uh, so the one which begins from Sneha, there are different pastime stages of Prema also. So then we saw the three kinds of prema, that is proud, madhya, and manda. In case of proud, which is mature, the lover's heart sings with that feeling of touch. No? So it might cause anxiety to the beloved's hearts. In case of madhya, the lover can tolerate the beloved's suffering. And in case of manda, the lover forgets whether the beloved suffers or not. So the primary characteristic of prema is that the bond of emotion between the young couple never breaks, no matter how devastating a cause might be there to break their relationship if it were on the material platform. So these are the three kinds of prema. Then post break, we saw the three divisions or types of characteristic of sneha. So threefold divisions in terms of gradations of development. First one is Kanishta, that is lowest one. One have to touch the beloved one. In case of Madhya, the heart melts just upon simply seeing the beloved one. And in case of Uttama, we can see that the heart melts even by hearing about the beloved. And that is Swarup Lakshana of this, that the illumination of the chitta, that is mind, and melting of the heart. And the Tatastha Lakshan is marginal. That means one is never satiated or despite repeatedly looking at the beloved. Then the two types of manifestation, it is Grita Sneha and it is Madhu Sneha. So Grita Sneha is just like ghee and Madhu Sneha is just like a honey. So it is of again two types, Grita Sneha. So not independently sweet unless mixed with sugar. And the second one is deep with a great deal of affection. Then, not independently sweet unless mixed with sugar. It includes mixed with bhavas like Gaurav and etc. And other and Gaurav are mutually interdependent. In case of deep with a great deal of affection, which includes the respect, and it is the example of Chandravali. It shows that she is a property of Lord Krishna with this feeling. In case of Madhu Sneha, which is inherently sweet. There is no need of mixing with anything else. And in case of Madhu Sneha, one also can find excessive possessiveness, that the Krishna is mine. So this feeling is great. In case of different kinds of mana, the lover is said to be in mana when her sneha becomes exalted and manifests a new kind of sweetness in externally assuming a crook mood in dealing with the beloved. So, which includes the Udattaman and the Lalitaman. So, in case of Udattaman, which manifests only in Gruta Sneha, it is about Dakshinya Bhava and Vamya Bhava. So, as we have learned mostly in usual Nilmani also. And Lalit Mana, which manifests in Madhu Sneha when it becomes turbulent. It is of again two types, which includes it is Kautilya Lalita Mana and Narma Lalita Mana. So Kautilya Lalit Mana, that the heart independently assumes a crook nature. And in case of Narma Lalit Mana, man infused with humor. And with this, we have also learned about um, Atyantika Apekshika, one Srimati Radharani, and the different types of gopis depending upon it, um, logo and etc. So Prabhuji has explained previously in much details. and so different kinds of pranaya. So Prabhuji explained that the interrelationship between pranaya, sneha, and man. In some situations, pranaya arises from sneha and then develops the characteristic behavior of man. So alternatively, man proceeds from sneha and then becomes a pranaya. So mana and pranaya, they are interchangeably related to cause and effect. Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji will proceed today now with part 2 of lesson. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nitisaki Mataji. So beautifully done. Really impressed. Hare Krishna, everyone. Again, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So now we proceed to the second part of this lesson 44. Okay. So now this raga that we'll get into that. There are different kinds of raga. Now, how from pranaya the raga develops? So that is shown right here. Pranaya, in its highest condition, progresses into the raga platform when even extra distress seems like a bliss, happiness. So there is, इसे कहते हैं मीठी सी चुभन होती है ना, कसक, So it is little painful, but that pain is really being enjoyed. That is the hallmark of this raga platform when you get intense attachment, there are two kinds of raga. There's a Nilima raga and the Raktima raga. Raktima raga is more advanced platform, And the Nilima raga, again, there are subcategories, the two, the Nili raga and the Shama raga. So what is Nili raga? In the raga platform, there is no possibility of becoming weakened. And when it is visible externally, it conceals the other bhavas with which it is combined. And so it is a more on a kind of a respect and honor kind of raga is there. So Chandravali is the prime example of that. She manifests this particular raga right before Krishna. And the Shyama raga, what is the difference between that? Shyama raga, when the beloved delay, suppose Krishna is delayed, actually Krishna is delayed and she is worried about, so makes the worried lover, it's so much she's worried that while she's doing whatever she's doing, actually she's shedding tears. So in this particular case, she's watering the plants, right, around that. So it's a poetic way. So she's watering the plant, but that water comes from her eyes in the form of tears. She's constantly thinking about Krishna, and Krishna is being delayed, and all kind of sometimes negative thoughts enter, So maybe Krishna is playing with someone else or what, So this is Shyama raga, Raga, like I said, it's constant, intense attachment. Every now and then, every minute, you think about your beloved, and also there's intense desire to see him, whether he's doing okay or not, like that. Okay, the other part is the Raktima raga, and then also there are two subclasses. Now this is more on a advanced level. So there's a two subcategories here also. One is a Kusumba raga, another one is Manjishta raga. Now Kusumba raga, and that is at once within the heart, it gets filled, that kind of attachment, infused with that, and it has its own beauty according to the necessity, although it illuminates the splendor of the other ragas are there, but this one particularly really shines very, very brightly, when it mixes with Manjishta raga that we are just going to talk about now, it produces kind of withering. What is withering effect? It's like a flower. What happened when the flower wilts? it loses its freshness, right? So here also it's the same thing happened. It produces withering effect in this gopi who loves Krishna so much. So the Manjishta Raga when it mixes there. So Manjishta Raga, there is the self-manifest status of that, and it's not dependent on anything else, never destroyed, okay, and always steadfast, and it's progressing always, never dulled, unlike Kusumba Raga, we just saw that it's sometimes it like a wilting of the flower or a withering effect. That does not happen when there is a Manjishta Raga. And this love of Sri Radha and Krishna feels for each other, that is the typical Manjishta Raga. Okay. So now some final conclusions. Okay, so now we have gone from Rati to Prema and also all the stages, Sneha, Pranaya, and all these stages, Raga, Anuraga. So it's a kind of a taking a pause and recap what we discussed earlier. So here Vijay Kumar is also asking question. So basically, he is recapping all these things. Okay. So the bhavas described thus far, such as Grita Sneha, Udatta Sneha, Maitreya, Sumaitreya, and Nilima are found in Chandravali. So the lower levels, they are in the Chandravali, the higher, more intense levels on Sri Radha. So that is just an example shown how these two kinds of bhavas, they interact, differentiate from each other. So Chandravali, as I told you many times, Chandravali's expansion, which we discussed in other course, Chandravali's expansion is Rukmini, Queen Rukmini, and Radha's expansion is Satyabhama. So just like Radha has a mana, Satyabhama also has that mana, and more intense kind of love for Krishna. Rukmini is a more Saumya bhav, a quiet one, and always submissive, willing, just like Chandravali. So all the progressive superior bhavas, such as Madhu bhava, Sneha, so all the advanced level that we just talked about, that is correspond to this one. All the progressive superior bhavas, such as Madhu bhava, Madhu Sneha, Lalita, Sakya, and then two more categories, Susakya, and then Raktima, are found fully in Srimati Radharani. And they are sometimes manifested in Queen Satyabhama that I just told you. The Satyabhama is an expansion of Radha, and occasionally some special cases, Queen Lakshmana also shows the same, Third point, there have also been discussion on these Vraja Sundaris, which are divided in so many rivals that we already discussed about it, right? Swapaksha, their own youth, their own group, like Radharani's group, all the Ashtashakis and also and like that. And then there's a Vipaksha, the opposite, the rival group, Chandravali's group. Chandravali and her Sakhi like Padma and so on like that. So these divisions arise from these different kinds of bhavas that we just talked about. Okay. So that is the one which is the differentiating factor that we must understand. So fourth point, the scholarly personalities, they take support of transcendental intelligence, prajna, that's the Sanskrit name, that is a little bit different than buddhi. Okay, buddhi is still on a material platform. Prajna is on a more superior transcendental platform. To comprehend, to understand the various separate divisions that occur by the mutual combination of all these totally now 41 bhavas, and how these 41 bhavas are computed First, there's a Sthai Bhava, right? And Sthai Bhava is already in a Madhura Rasa, Madhura Bhava. Just we talked about like in the Sthai Bhava in Sakya, so it is going to develop in Sakya Rasa, right? So here, right from beginning, Madhura Bhava is already there as stabilized Bhava in the heart of such a devotee. And then there are 33 Sanchari Bhavas or Vyabhichari Bhavas, and 7 there are the secondary bhavas that is ultimately going to develop into the 7 kind of secondary rasas, right? Hasya rasa and so on like that. 5 primary rasas, 7 secondary rasas, totally 12 rasas. So that is what is referred to here. Okay. Now we get into anuraga, raga to anuraga level. So this is a glorious wonder that raga manifests. And what is its glorification point here? The anuraga brings the lover and the beloved under each other's control. So Radha is controlling Krishna, Krishna is controlling Radha, like that, and it makes one aspire. They both, so much love is there. So Radha says, मैं आपके अंगद में वृक्ष बन के रहूंगी. I will become a tree. So some much lower level of life forms. She's so much in love. She's telling Krishna that wherever you live in your particular surroundings, I will be existing as a tree. So Krishna also lovingly says, jokes that, okay, if you are a vriksha, if you are a tree in my surroundings, then I'll become a parrot and I will taste your fruit, like that. It's they joke each other. So it creates this prema vaichitya. We will talk about that when we talk in the next section, vipralamba. So there is 4 kinds of vipralamba and 4 kinds of sambhoga. Sambhoga is union. So prema vaichitya comes in one of the 4 parts of vipralamba. So there is a love in separation, vipralamba. Okay, now we are going to get a little bit more complex. Further subcategories of this Mahabhava, and that is what I want you to pay special attention. But that is a little bit difficult to grasp. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit slow, and that's why I went faster up till that's now. So it was much easier to grasp. Now it's a little bit difficult. Okay, but I'm going to make it as easy as possible for you. And always, whenever I give this, the main title of this thing, and this to which I show, I always make a point to read that, okay? Some important information is there. So here we are going to be talk about the subcategories, different kinds of Mahabhava. So first point here, Sri Radha is the ashraya. Ashraya means what? Shelter. Shelter of this anuraga, okay, which is Sthai Bhava in the heart, where Krishna is always Vishaya, the object of love, right? So here Krishna is the Vishaya of this Madhura Rasa. He is the main object to which Madhura Rasa is being directed, okay? So when that anuraga reaches at its highest point, most glorious stage, then what happens? It is Mahabhava, which does not reside among the queens of Dwarka. So that's a big distinction to remember. This Mahabhava comes only in the gopis, headed by Sri Radha. It does not get into the queens. The main distinction, remember, is to give pleasure to Krishna, which is, and there is no expectation of union, sambhoga, okay? Whereas queens, that's not there. That's the problem. So among the queens in Dwarka, but only among the Vraja gopis that exists Mahabhava, headed by Sri Radha. The second point is the love in Swakya. By the way, this lesson 44, again I made several changes just until few minutes before this class began. So when you go through that my folder, you will see the latest version. Okay, the one might be differing from the previous one. The love in Swakya Rasa is, of course, now you should be able to guess it. That is Samanjasa Rati, right? That's the intermediate. Sadharana Rati, Samanjasa Rati, and Samartha Rati. So don't get mixed up. Clearly understand the distinction between three particular ratis. But so this Swakya Rasa, there is no Samartha love, Samartha love, only in which Mahabhava is possible. So one who is in intermediate, Samanjasa Rati, they never get to the Mahabhava stage at all. Only when it is in the Samartha Rati platform. Okay. And we discussed the distinction, the features that distinguishes between three categories. In Vraja, the predominant bhava, of course, is Parakya bhava, right? That we talked many times. So Parakya bhava, where it's the highest stage of Samartha love, okay, then the Mahabhava is manifested. So now with these two sub-points, you should get a pretty good idea how Mahabhava develops from Anuraga, okay, and what it is actually Mahabhava. What is its distinguishing characteristic? So now we go further, subdivisions of Mahabhava. One is the Ruda Mahabhava, that comes first, and Ruda Bhava then becomes Adhi Ruda Bhava. Adhi means more advanced level. So first the Ruda Bhava, and how these distinctions are characterized, because each of them trigger a particular kinds of anubhavas. Okay, anubhavas are the whatever is in the heart, in the mind, that get transmitted externally in the bodily senses, bodily mind, and so on, like that, body and mind. Okay, so that from that you can tell the devotee is in what particular bhava. So there are distinguishing particular anubhavas are there. So anubhavas that are characteristic of the Ruda Mahabhava is distilled right in this box. What are they? Inability to tolerate the eye's natural activity, and all these anubhavas I'm going to show you the next slide in bit more typical examples of that. Okay, so these are just listing of the bhavas. In the next, I will explain more as the Shiksha Guru explains to Vijay Kumar. When prompted by Vijay Kumar, I said, please explain me a little bit more so that I can understand with giving examples. So inability to tolerate the eye's natural activity of blinking. Remember, the scientists have found, modern scientists, the time it takes, actually in Sanskrit, in the scripture says, nimisha, that little fraction, the time in a unit of time. Actually, it worked out, it's a 1/16th of a second it takes from one blink to another blink. So even then 1/16th of a second, the gopis could not tolerate not being able to see Krishna. So when they went to, remember, they had such a long separation, right? 100 years separation. And Mahabharata war, everything is over, and then they meet at Kurukshetra because of there's a eclipse, sun eclipse there, and there they're meeting. So gopis are seeing Krishna, Radha particularly, after a long time. And they don't even not sure when Krishna will again disappear. So even though the fraction of a few little time left, they wanted to make sure they see Krishna complete all the time. And that is what lovers want to see, that, even they see, they are not satisfied. They want to see all the time. So 1/16th of a second, they were cursing Lord Brahma, who created this eyelashes, but that is the one which is blinking. So that is one example. Thinking of a kalpa, and what happens when something going good, enjoying, then the time is shrinking. The kalpa begins just like a little moment, one single moment. And when something is really suffering, the time does not go, it expands. So the moment seems like a whole kalpa, that's like. So they're worried Krishna may be suffering even though he's very happy. And we'll see the examples given there, okay? Forgetting everything, thinking a moment as long as kalpa, and although they are not bewildered, they forget everything about themselves with their in constant thinking about Krishna. So this is called advanced anuraga and thinking Mahabhava stage. We can only think, we can only imagine. It's not possible for any of us. So these anubhavas are present both in Sambhoga, that we will talk about it in subsequent sections, and Vipralambha. Okay? And all the sattvic bhavas, they manifest in this Uddipta condition. Remember, there are just analogies given. When there's a fire, in the beginning, fire is not visible, right? All you see from a distance is smoke coming out, right? And when you go nearer and nearer, that smoke clears, and then you see Jvalita, then you see the fire, and the fire becomes intense, more and more, brighter and brighter. So Jvalita becomes Udita, and so on, like that. Sudita. Later on, I showed you before, I'll show you again to help you remind what is exactly this analogy is all about. So this all will go higher and higher stages. These particular bhavas, they become brighter and brighter and intense, brilliant. So now the Rudha Bhava that we understand, now the Rudha Bhava now progresses to Adhi Rudha Bhava. What is Adhi Rudha Bhava? When the Rudha Bhava becomes very, very wonderful, Rudha progresses into Adhi Rudha. And again, there are two kinds of Adhi Rudha Bhava. There's a Modana Bhava and then Madana Bhava. Madana Bhava will be discussed more details later. First, Modana Bhava. What is Modana Bhava? It does not occur anywhere else except in Sri Radha's group. Okay? And Modana is of Ladini Shakti, and Radharani is the personification of Ladini Shakti. That's why in her group it happens. When both Radha and Krishna manifest all the sattvic bhavas with the most brilliant category, most brilliant glory, Uddipta stage. Okay? The Modana becomes then Mohana Bhav. It's getting more and more complicated now. I told you before. I warned you before. And this Mohana Bhav, especially in separation, some divine madness occurs. Unmada, Unmada is divine madness. The Chitra Jalpa and all that kind of things that we'll be talking about in a few minutes. Okay, then Madana. Madana Bhav is going to be discussed in more details after we hear the Mohana Bhav and so on like that, okay? But just to mention what is Madana Bhav, I briefly am showing it here. Envy is so prominent in Madana Bhav that even inanimate objects are envied, okay? Like Krishna's Murli, flute, they become envious over flute also, because flute is constantly touching Krishna's lips, and they are not able to do that, So they think that Krishna's flute is much more fortunate than us. So they feel very envy of that. So that is inanimate objects. But whenever Krishna, everything is actually person. There's a person behind that. Such as a Krishna's flute. So Madana Bhav manifests when the lovers meet and enjoy pastimes together. But we'll have a lot more on Madana Bhav a little later. first we'll focus on this Modana Bhav and how it becomes Mohana Bhav. Okay? And okay, the first, those Anubhavas, that is given shown here. Okay, that characteristic, this Anubhavas of Rudha Bhava. Okay, what are some of the Anubhavas in Rudha Bhava, Mahabhavas look like? So first, the inability to tolerate with the eyes blinking, that I already told you about, that feeling separation. And after a long separation, they're meeting and they want to constantly utilize that every second of it. They want to watch, see Krishna all the time. You know, just seeing once, twice is not enough. All the time. You know? And blinking of the eyes, they could not tolerate. So they are cursing Brahma, who created eyelashes. And that is 1/16th of a second only. Okay, the second point, agitating the hearts of those nearby. That is when the gopis go through that Indian bhavas, is so intense that even the onlookers, they begin to experience that kind of pain and separation. You know? So when they saw in Kurukshetra, the gopis' ecstatic love, the way when they met, even the queens who were also there, they were highly surprised. You know, King Yudhishthira was surprised too. You know, they were deeply moved by the gopis' love for Krishna. Third point, third Anubhava, thinking a kalpa to be as long as just a minute. When something was great, union is there, the time passes very quickly. This is all on the mental platform, of course, you know. So the rasa dancer, when they were enjoying with Krishna. The rasa dance, remember there were billion gopis were there, the rasa dance, you know, and Krishna multiplied himself that many forms. So the entire, and that took, amazingly, it took the entire night of Brahma. And you know how long Brahma's night is there, right? What is it, 8.4 billion years or something like that. Still, the gopis thought it was just lasted just for a moment only. The fourth kind of Anubhava, worrying that Krishna might be suffering even when it is obvious that he is happy. This is the gopis' worry that Krishna will suffer if he places his lotus feet on their breast, and they think that their breasts are too hard, and Krishna's lotus feet so soft, extremely soft, and Krishna might feel some pain on that, hurting feeling. So this is the feeling of that. So much tense, tender feelings they have for Krishna. That is what the point is. This one, you know. So they have gone to that stage. Fifth kind of Anubhava, although they are not bewildered, they are not in moha, they lose awareness of their surroundings. This is what happens when I'm making my PowerPoints. Sometimes I'm totally become oblivious of my surroundings. My wife is shouting. How many times do I need to warm up the food? The food, she warms 3, 4, 5, 5, 6 times. And I say, I'm going to be back just a few minutes, few minutes. The few minutes takes hours, you know, and I don't realize that. So this is what happens when you're working for Krishna. And the last but not least, thinking a moment to be as long as kalpa, that is in separation, because the separation from Krishna is so painful, but that painful separation is also blissful, because there is a spurti of Krishna during separation. And I told you what is spurti. Spurti is a momentary realization in the heart, in the mind. Krishna really appears there as if Krishna right in front of them. That is called spurti. It's just a moment, passes, goes and passes. All right, let's take a break, 5 minutes break, so we can relax. Okay, get ready, please. Okay. So now, this is Modana Bhav, right? Separation from Krishna, Modana becomes Mohana Bhav. So what are the anubhavas for this particular Mohana Bhav? Krishna faints while being embraced by another lover. One desires his happiness while personally accepting unbearable distress. Even at that point, the birds, beasts, they begin to cry. Yeah, that is incredible, really. And that point, this Divya Unmada, divine madness, that kind of anubhavas takes place. And that is occurring during this Mohana Bhav. Now, Krishna left for Mathura. And what is the condition of Radharani? So Radharani goes through this kind of stages, exactly, this Mohana Bhav, and then this divine madness, Divya Unmada, there's a unique, indescribable, you cannot even describe it to give some sense of it, what it is. In a very, very weird kind of behavior, it happens, a state of utter confusion. And that's what happened to Radha. Moment she said Krishna is gone, other moment she realized, no, Krishna is not gone. It's all just a bad dream. It's just a nightmare. Krishna is still here, So thinking Krishna is still here, she will prepare a bed for him. Or all the kind of preparations she will make that Krishna is anytime is going to walk in, like that. So Divyanmada has features such as Udghurana and Chitra Jalpa. Again, this we discuss at great length in Sri Ujjwal Nilamani. We will not be able to get a chance to go in that much depth, but we will see in a little bit summarized form the way this Shiksha Guru explains to Vijay Kumara. Okay, so Udghurana, what is Udghurana? Sri Radha experienced this particular state when Krishna departed from Mathura. Okay, so what happened? This particular bhava gets more intense when the thought really sinks in. First, there is a not accepting. Krishna is not left. It's just a bad dream. He's still here. Like that Radha went through the stage. And finally that sunk in. Krishna really left. He's really gone. Then these things develop, So experience this state when Krishna departed from Mathura and complete forgetfulness due to separation from him. As he is coming, she made the bed. She thinks that he is not gone yet. So she will behave, everything she's doing is if Krishna, any moment he's going to be coming there, right? In anticipation, Krishna will come back. She prepares the bed, all the arrangements she makes of her kunja, and so one by one. Sometimes she wanders around hurriedly, wakes up in the middle of the night, and goes around the forest. And the Sakhis are all worried who are taking care of her. They are all worried what is going to happen to her. This is all discussed in great length, in the other scriptures. Sometimes she's wandering around hurriedly in the dense darkness of the night, as if she's making a secret journey to meet Krishna. So these are the stages going Abhisarini. She becomes Abhisarini like that. So that is what a little glimpse, little sense of what Udghurana means. That is a stage immediately after Krishna left. So that's not accepting the fact, not accepting the reality. But then as time goes, then the reality sinks in. So that is when this Chitra Jalpa develops, constantly thinking that Krishna is sending a message and so on like that. So a bee comes there, a bumblebee, and bumblebee is trying to touch her lotus feet, So she imagines that Krishna must be enjoying with women in Mathura, and he's sending his messenger in the form of this bee. Actually, Krishna himself came there, in the form of. So bee, she imagines it's Krishna's messenger, because actually it was Krishna, So that is what our Acharya says that. And then she goes through these different stages. First, the bees as a messenger of Krishna, she does not trust him and so on like that. All the stages go there, Now, in a summarized way, you're going to hear, but if you really want to see that, you should go back to that Ujjwal Nilamani. It's so wonderful. It's really kind of amazing how Radharani goes through those stages. Jealousy is there, of course, intense jealousy. She's, thinking that Krishna is so heartless without any feelings for her, and so on. Like all these feelings goes through her mind, and then she is afraid she might displease this messenger bumblebee. So then she reverses her impressions about that, and trying to make up with that. All these things, Bhavas goes through that. So there are 10 limbs of Chitrajalpa. It consists of the discourses that occur when one meets a friend of one's beloved. Okay, and that's the bumblebee. They are all full of intense longing, and they arise from the bhavas. So she goes through this madness, divya madness, very divine madness. Not she's trembling between reality and the dream state. That is kind of, and then all this jealousy. She's imagining that Krishna is enjoying, and the women in Mathura are enticing my Krishna, and so on like that. Envy, restlessness, pride, eagerness, all these different kind of bhavas tumbling in her mind all the time, back and forth, circulating. So there are 10 limbs: Prajalpa, Parijalpa, Vijalpa, Ujalpa, Sanjalpa, Avajalpa. So our acharyas, they explain each of these particular segments of this Chitra Jalpa. And we are going to hear the summary of it. The version that we see here in the words of the Shiksha Guru is somewhat little bit different than what we got it from Rupa Goswami in Ujjwal Nilamani. Okay? Somewhat different. And I like Ujjwal Nilamani description much better. So here are the different situations Radharani is going through, that different stages of this Chitra Jalpa. First is Prajalpa. Okay, what happens there? Revealing the tactlessness of one's lover. See how Krishna is so devoid of any kind of mercy for me. I'm suffering here, and he's sending this messenger. Okay, using various neglectful. So okay, let me show you this thing. So here's Radharani, and the bumblebee you can see right there. So bumblebee is trying to touch her lotus feet, and she's afraid of that, and so that's what is going through that. Okay, and she's talking to this bumblebee as if it's a real Krishna's messenger. Okay, so she's revealing the tactlessness of one's lover, Krishna's tactlessness, using various neglectful mannerisms that are filled with malice, jealousy, and pride. All these things, different kind of bhavas are going through her mind when she's speaking to this bumblebee. And then called Parijalpa, showing one's expertise through expressions that establish faults in one's beloved, such as his cruelty, treachery, fickleness. She's thinking all about this Krishna like that, because of her pain she's experiencing in her heart. And as if Krishna is not being able to feel that her pain, that's going through that. Then Vijalpa refers to speech in which one outwardly makes malicious allegations against Krishna, while the aspect of mana is hidden in the heart. Remember the way when Krishna is there, she goes in mana, right? But now Krishna is not there, so she could not go in that mana. But she's expressing that mana kind of feeling in this alleging Krishna that you are like this, you are that, you're so and so like that, you're so helpless. You're so devoid of any kind of feeling for me. You're not understanding what I'm going through, like that. I like better actually in Ujjwal Nilamani. And there actually we went through verse by verse all this entire episode, that would be great. Ujjalpa, Krishna's treachery, hypocrisy, and so on out of jealousy arising from one's pride. Radha has a pride also herself. She doesn't want to beg him like that. But inside she's feeling great pain, always making hostile allegations against Krishna. Sanjalpa, establishing Krishna's ungratefulness, harshness, deceitfulness. Krishna's fourth kind of personality, remember? The Uddatta kind of personality. So she is recalling that kind of thing. So on through cryptic joking, accusation, or mannerism, and so on like that. And the phase comes when she takes back all these things actually. So Avajalpa, expressing one's involuntary or helpless attachment to Krishna with fear filled with jealousy. Jealousy and envy is all the time going on, this mohana bhava, while finding in him faults such as hard-heartedness, heart which is devoid of feelings for her, lustiness. He's so lusty, now he's enjoying with the women in Mathura like that, and willingly. Abhijalpa, lamenting with indirect expressions. He gives distress to even his birds. He's so heartless that even his birds, he is not feeling sorry for that. He's saying that parrots and peacocks, actually that's not truth. Krishna loves these birds, but she is in her imagination going through that because separation from him and Krishna is not here, is not coming back. So attachment to him is useless. So such a heartless fellow, why am I so attached to him? Why am I so much in pain with him? Why should I worry about? Why should I think about him? He is not worthy of my love. Like that she's thinking. And this kind of feeling going back and forth. It means to expose his duplicity and persecution due to self-disparagement, and to say that only subjects other than Krishna's pastimes gives happiness. So she remembers all the happy pastimes she had with Krishna, but now she wants to forget about that. She wants to get out of it, because what is the use of that? He is giving me so much pain to me, like that. Showing then pratijalpa, showing respect towards a messenger. So now she's reversing. First she was cursing that bumblebee also, but then she realizes that after all, he's a messenger. He's just delivering a message, and she didn't want to really hurt the feelings of that bumblebee. So now she's mellowing down to that bumblebee, showing respect towards the messenger sent by Krishna, and saying that he is deceitful in seeking amorous love, so it is inappropriate to meet with him because he is with other charming ladies in Mathura. And finally, Sujalpa, inquiring about Krishna out of simplicity. So now he's requesting the messenger, the bumblebee, please go back and tell your master. First she was criticizing him that you are just like my master. My master is deceitful, and you are also like that because you also want to suck the honey from different flowers. You are exactly like my master. So you are actually copying your master like that, But now she's realizing that she might be hurting the feelings of the bumblebee, so she is mellowing it down, thinking, inquiring about Krishna out of simplicity, with a mood of gravity, humility, restlessness, eagerness. All these things comes, all these feelings. So this Chitra Jalpa is like that. She's going through this divine madness, But then divine madness, you got to realize the intense pain she is going through that, And that is what I want you to understand. All this pain is there. She is cursing left and right. Still, she cannot forget Krishna. That is the intensity of her love. Even the reasons are there to break up that love, but that transcendental love cannot break. Even the reasons are there, but not. That is the hallmark of this transcendental love. Okay, this Madana Bhava, I told you that. So it's coming there, Madana Bhava and the Aniruddha Bhava. And this is the conclusive summary of the Madhura Rasa. So what is Madana Bhava? If so unlimited that even Krishna himself could not understand this Madana Bhava in its entirety. Even Sukadeva Goswami and the Rasacharya Bharat Muni, they were unable to fully describe. Now, who is Bharat Muni? Who was the one who developed the Rasa theory? But that Rasa theory that Bharata Muni actually originally developed, it was the dance, drama, and things like that, okay? It was Rupa Goswami who should be given the credit. He applied those Rasa Tattva on the Bhakti platform. And of course, Rupa Goswami learned all this thing from whom? You remember that? That is the, what is it? Swarup Damodar Goswami. Who was the one really? So in fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put Rupa Goswami in the care of this particular great devotee. Who was the one actually? Rupa Goswami learned all this thing. Then he wrote this later on, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So it is Swarup Damodar Goswami is the one authority on the rasas, And this particular Siksha Guru received the instructions from Swarup Damodar Goswami also. So about this Madana Bhav, why not Krishna, despite he is the Akhila Rasamurti? Okay, he is the Akhila Rasamurti. He is the personification of Rasa, Raso Vaisaha. And still, how come? So the Vijay Kumar is asking question, how he is not fully understood the Madana Bhav? How am I to understand that? He is the person, the personification, embodiment of all the rasas. So please explain to me. So he says, and all knowing. So he is simultaneously one and different. So the answer is this. He is simultaneously one and different from rasas. When the Atma Rasa, a Swakya Rasa, is totally unknown to Krishna. Remember, Krishna is in Paratya Bhav now. So he's totally gone out of his mind, all this Swakya, queens and everything is totally dissipated from his mind now, So when the Atma Rasa Swakya Bhav is totally unknown to him because Yogamaya acted exactly on his desire, Icha Shakti. So he is put under that bewilderment, right, by that. And only Parakya Rasa is the known predominant in Vraja. That is indeed the highest stage of this Madana Bhav. So let that sink in your mind now. That Madana Bhav is the ultimate of it, And it manifested in the Lord's Apragata Lila or unmanifest pastimes both in Gokula and Goloka. So now Rajakumar is asking him to please kindly summarize the highlights of entire Madhura Rasa. So we are going to hear the conclusive summary of it, okay? The various bhavas manifested by the gopis are all spiritual and beyond comprehension by material logic. So you cannot understand through material logic and through human intelligence. Okay? So Sri Radha, who is Mahabhava Swarupa, herself had raga, anuraga, sneha, mana, pranaya, even purva raga, even before actually meeting Krishna, she had all these bhavas. So the state of, so this comparisons I told you about that. And to just to remind your memory, I shown you at the bottom again this year. All these different bhavas are compared with the fire. First there is smoke, jvalita. So dhumayata is the last limit of sadharan rati. Sadharan rati can go on up to that point only, as if the fire you cannot see only up to the point of smoke. Okay, but in samanjasa rati, which is intermediate, it can go up to sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, and anuraga platform, in which dipti rati is manifest as jvalita form, and in rudha bhava it is udipta form. Okay, sudipta form, the brilliant, the most sparkling fire that you can see is in the highest stage. That's what I compared to show you that Dhaumyate is a smoky, Jvalita is blazing, and Dipta is shining, Udipta is brightly shining. So this particular bhava that we are talking about is only in this Udipta stage and Sudipta stage, the highest stage at level, the brightest level. Okay, so now this I was working along is still partial, but just to put together, and I'm going to show you next, maybe tomorrow I'll show you this thing. So all these things so far we have learned, I'm putting through in just 2 slides, okay? So like this rati, there are 3 kinds of rati, sadharani rati, samanjasa rati, samartha rati. Then the prema, there are 3 kinds, prouder prema, madhya prema, manda prema, then sneha, then the grita sneha, madhu sneha, then man and prana, they go back and forth, okay? I told you, I explained to you. Sometimes mana comes first, then pranaya, or sometimes pranaya comes mana. But actually, by and large, that we learn lesson 45 tomorrow, that actually mana cannot exist without pranaya. And what is pranaya? When pranaya, that's where this trust develops, that my Krishna is still under my control, okay, like that. Then that pranaya stage comes. So when that mamatva bhav develops, then only the mana takes place. You know? The mana can exist, but that mana is an unripened stage without pranaya. So there are 2 kinds of mana, udatta mana, lalita mana. And udatta mana also in 2 kinds of bhav, vamya bhav, dakshina bhav. Dakshina bhav is more respectful, great humility is there. Vamya bhav is more aggressive. You know? And here Lalita bhav also we saw 2 kinds of Lalita mana, Kautilya mana, Narma mana, and so on like that. So in a summary slide, obviously I cannot put everything, explanation, everything. So you have to understand beforehand and put all together in the mind. You keep this picture in your mind, everything will become clearer. You know. So then raga, Nilima raga, Raktima raga, Shyama raga, Nili raga, then Kusumba raga, Majnish raga. What are these things that you must understand now? Okay, Anuraga, and then Mahabhava. So in the next slide, I'm going to expand Mahabhava into the Rudha Bhava, Aniruddha Bhava, Adhiruddha Bhava, then Madana Bhava, Bodhana Bhava, and Madana Bhava. Modana Bhava breaks into again Mohana Bhava, and then how Mohana Bhava gets into this Udgurana and Chitra Jalpa, all this thing putting in the second slide. I'll put it. So on these 2 slides, entire last several lessons put it together for you, okay? Just to inscribe that picture in your mind. Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, both. Thank you so much.
Prabhuji. Good to see you again. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very heavy class. That's what, so many things are there, very minute difference. But yeah, as you said, I just gone through that Ujjwala Neelamani's slides, which are describing all the stuffs, Prabhu. One basic question, Prabhu. Sorry for asking you silly questions, but just to clear my head, Prabhu.
Answer could be silly.
No, Prabhu.
Okay, go ahead.
Prabhu, you know that when we have basically this Madhurya Rasa or Sringara Rasa is a two types. One is Vipralamba Bhava and Sambhoga. And the
That will come the
Vipralamba
next.
Bhava got this Purvaraga, Mana, Prema Vaichitya and Pravasa. That is what we
Yes, correct.
come,
Yes.
Prabhu.
So
So
we'll be
now,
coming next weekend onwards. Will be coming.
okay, Prabhu. So this Pravasa, Sai Bhava and this Madhurya, I got confused, Prabhu. Which one is what? That is what I not able to comprehend. How this Sai Bhava is related to this Sringara Rasa. These are different or not able to understand. How you understand?
Sringara Rasa is Madhurya Bhav, but in the highest stage. Sringara Rasa, in fact, when we see the lesson 45, 46, 47, 48, you will see that lesson 45 also. And this Vijay Kumar is asking that question actually. So Sringara Rasa is the one, because he said, just like you, exactly, Vijay Kumar was exactly the same kind of mental confusion as you are now. Same kind of exact same question Vijay Kumar asked his Krishna Guru. That, yeah, all this expression you have done, that this Thai Bhava and all this different Madhura Bhava and all this thing, but now I'm confused. Why am I not still feeling that Madhura Bhav, my Thai Bhav is not getting into that? How come that, So then he explains that unless and until you understand Vipralamba, you are not going to experience. So Vipralamba and Sambhoga, that comes in Sringara Rasa. So you have to understand Sringara Rasa in order for you to really understand this in a Madhurya Rasa, Thai Bhav itself becomes Madhurya Rasa itself. Okay, and Madhurya Rasa, the internalization of that in your mindset will become clear only if you understand what is Sringara Rasa, because all these things is real. The seed of that, the bottom line is that is this Vipralamba. This love develops, intensifies only in separation. Radharani felt all this thing when Krishna went away. So she went through all the stages. So Vipralamba, separation, Krishna deliberately causes separation for us to realize the importance of Sambhoga, importance of Milan, importance of union. Union is incomplete without going through the separation. So without going through this difficult, for us, conditioned souls, we are going through this difficulties in material life. Our life is purposeful, is there to make us understand that. It's like separation. Because we are separate from Krishna, that's why we are going through that. This pain and suffering, this material world, material existence. And then only we will realize what is Krishna all about. What is spiritual world? You understand that? So that's why this material world is like that. They are designed to give difficulties to us, to understand that this is like fish out of water. This is not our world. Our world is in spiritual world with Krishna. So we invoke Krishna in this material existence by having this furti, momentary realization, back and forth. When we hear about him, then we develop this furti. That's why constant hearing this Krishna Katha and his interrelationship with the gopis, when that sinks in the innermost corner of our mind, then we become qualified to go back. We develop these bhavas. Obviously, we are not going to get Mahabhava. Even so, this is the whole crux of that the whole reasoning behind that. What you asked is a very, very intelligent question that Vijay Kumar exactly asked the same question that we will see in the subsequent lesson. So Shringar Rasa is very, very critically important for us to understand. And the main part of Shringar Rasa is this Vipralamba Seva. Worshipping Krishna, we haven't gotten him yet. We haven't gotten Krishna Prema. So that is the kind of separation from us, for us. We have to develop that Prema. And how do we get that? By constantly hearing that and feeling the pain of Srimati Radharani, how she's going through that separation from Krishna. And we keep hearing about it. And that evokes the pain in our heart. And then we understand that we are going through the very not dissimilar situation, much lesser level, obviously. Nonetheless, we understand because we are also separated from Krishna in this material world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
So
Prabhu.
I'm not
Thank you
sure
so much.
I'm answering the question.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. I mean, basically, yes, you summary is in our previous class also. Your notes are. I have taken the notes here. To Rupa Goswami orients this theory of Madhurya Rasa, Sringara Rasa based on the Gita Govinda's 5 verses. To understand these 5 verses, you mentioned that intense greed or laulyam to remember Krishna, point number 1. And do we have a gravy to contemplate the intense great affection? And third one is curiosity to spend the time in hearing Krishna Katha. If we able to tick these boxes, then we are able to understand this Gita Govinda Sringara Rasa Prabhu. That's what I can just
Wonderful.
connect the
Yes,
dot here. What
those courses I did because that was the one which struck my mind so much. That was the reason why I took that Gita Govinda. I think in Radha Tattva also I
yes,
talked
Prabhu.
about
Radha
that.
Tattva we covered that.
Yeah.
Yes. Sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Hare Krishna.
Any other points? Radhavinath Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji. So trying to grasp it and difficult to understand. My mind goes, these all complicated things develops when you are going to Madhur Rasa. But looking into that, Dasya Rasa, Dasya, being a servant of Krishna is easy to understand and serve him, Prabhuji. Right? It's very difficult, right? That
Krishna
the
is always
concept
very
itself.
difficult. Even the great sages and the demigods, they could not understand Krishna. Who are we?
Yeah,
But we make an effort, whatever at our level, and Krishna will help through Radharani.
So, Prabhuji, my
This
question
Radha,
again. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhuji, the Lord Brahma, it said that Brahma's night that Gopi Rasa dance, right? So,
Yeah.
so it lasted for a complete night of Brahma. How to understand that? They felt it moment, that's a different
It's,
part.
I think
Yeah.
4.32 billion years
Yes.
day and 4.32 billion years night. So that whole Rasa dance lasted that long. But the gopis did not realize it was just like a moment because they were enjoying.
Yeah, but Prabhuji, you understand that Rasa dance, physical, Lord Krishna lived for, I'm just going statistics with that one
And
day,
Krishna,
the one night
the
is
time
lasted.
when Krishna is there, Krishna himself is the time, right? So he can make the time compresses in few moments. All it compresses, expands like kalpa, That's what it is.
So, but so again, silly question, Prabhuji. At that time, the overnight, the gopis in the late night, the Krishna calls, and the morning they go back. So we understand. For rest of the world, it was only one night. Is that that's how I had to understand?
No, it was actually for our human standard, it was one whole night of Brahma. That's what we are being given there. That's what it is.
But other Brajavasis, it was only one night because it says that Krishna calls gopis in the late night, maybe whatever, 11 o'clock, say, for example, and early morning they go back. That means from perspective of Braja.
From their point of view, it like that. It was just a night from that point of view. But actually, in reality, whatever what we are learning here, that it took the whole night of Brahma that long.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
That is my understanding. Yeah. So it's remember, Krishna and Radha and Krishna and the gopis, their time is also on a spiritual level. Everything's spiritual level. So spiritual level, it's just a fraction of what time we have. So in their standard, it is one night, but our standard is the whole night of Brahma, like that. So for them, of course, it was just a night. That's the way I understand. Okay. Okay. Who else is there now?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Oh yes, Sanjay Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, so wonderful class. So I
Thank
had
you. Thank you.
2 questions and 1 reflection. So I think there was a deep study in this class about 3 main points: Raga, Mana, Bhava. Right? I know there are no English terms for this, but are you able to hear me, Prabhu?
Yeah, I'm able to hear. Yeah, I'm hearing.
Yeah. But is the closest term, like for Mana, it is pride, Bhava, it's emotion, and actually Raga is like mostly if you use
Detachment.
detachment. Are these the closest corollaries to these?
Yeah, but not quite what the intensity, that is quite different, It's beyond our grasp. Yeah,
Understood.
but the rough close to proximity, that is the understanding.
Okay. Yeah, that's what, so I can get it better. And then second question is this this events of the sequence you explained of Radharani going through all these different stages. What is the frequency of this? Like this happens every day or every time, every cycle when he comes back?
She's all the time in Mahabhava stage, all the Bhava. It's not like she's developed, even because we just learned today, even when there was a Purva Raga, Radha never met Krishna. Even Purva Raga, she went through all these things, even in Purva Raga.
Right.
So she is personification of all these bhavas.
Got it. And then the third point, which actually Radha Prabhu just touched, that was also a question in my mind that it's like Krishna appeared 5,000 years back. Night of Brahma is like 1 full day, which is like million years. So how do we comprehend? But you answered that nicely. Like time is elastic for Krishna, so he can
That's what
compress or
we see.
expand.
Yes, we just heard, right? It's all these things
Yeah.
beyond material logic and human
Beyond
intelligence. He cannot grasp it.
Yeah.
He cannot grasp it.
And finally, my reflection, like while this is definitely all transcendental, but it's so interesting that we see some reflection of these emotions in our daily personal material life also. Like we have attachment for something, we have desire for something, we crave for something. So they are there, but the only part is it's more for the material. At least in my case, it's more for the
It's for
material
selfish reasons.
zeal.
We go for
Yeah,
selfish reasons.
if I can
He is all
transform that
explained
to
for
Krishna,
Krishna.
then
That's a big difference.
yes, Oju, very wonderful class. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So hard
Thank
work
you.
that.
Thank you. Any other points?
Just to add to
let's turn it. Yes.
Prabhu's this thing. I mean, basically, this bhavas, the feelings, mana, all this stuff. It is only meant for this divine couples association only. It is, we may not able
No, it's
to
all the gopis.
relate
Gopis
that
also
to
going
the.
through that.
Okay.
Gopis are all expansions of Radharani.
Yes.
So all these
yes.
gopis are also going through, but they are all expansions of Srimati Radha.
Correct, Prabhu. Yes. I mean, gopis and
all this thing happening on the spiritual level. Actually, everything's taking place on a material plane, but it's all you have to understand. It's all spiritual platform. Everything's happening.
Correct.
There's
Yes,
nothing material when Radha and gopis are concerned. So
Yes,
that is
yes.
what we are. So we cannot exactly equate in the material terms.
Yes.
I'm going to turn it over to Sharat Prabhuji. He might have something additional information for us. Sharat Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Actually, I must tell you, all these things which we are learning, they are not taught anywhere. With this level to which we have come after, of course, reading or studying with Ujjwala Nilavani, then all these courses, they are at a very, very high level. That's why it is becoming difficult for us to comprehend. And as we have been told, using our own intelligence, we cannot understand everything. But with the mercy of our previous acharyas, like Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, we are making an effort to understand them. But we must remember that these are very, very high level of, rather the penultimate level of Krishna Prema, the Madhura Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, Madhura Rati and all that. I just want to say very few words, just explaining or elaborating on what already Prabhuji has said. Now, as we know this Sokya Bhava and Parakya Bhava, we have spoke about this in very great detail earlier also. Now this Sokya Bhava is present whenever the gopi is bound to Krishna by the regulations of marriage. And in Sokya Bhava, the rati is samanjasa rati. So it is not the component to attain the most elevated position of Mahabhava. That's why a Mahabhava that is reserved for the gopis headed by Srimati Radharani. And Sokya Bhava is also present in some gopis in Braja also. But Parakya Rasa is most prominent. That means that is also there, but the most prominent portion is Parakya Rasa only, Parakya Bhava. And in the Braja Rati is Samartha Rati. So it develops fully and reaches up to the condition of Mahabhava. And as we know, Mahabhava is the highest stage. And we learned about the Rudha, Adhiruddha Mahabhava, like this. In Rudha Mahabhava, the Anubhavas of the Anubhavas are even the passing of a moment is unbearable. The gopis, they are not able to pass even a moment. They are getting totally distressed because it is churning of their hearts. And that's why we learned a kalpa. Kalpa is a day of Brahma. Day of Brahma is 432 crore years as per our calculation. This 32 crore years is also passing like a moment. And the one feels dejected because of the apprehension that Lord Krishna, Sri Krishna is undergoing some inconvenience, although he is actually very, very happy. And one becomes forgetful of everything, even of one's own self, although one is not totally bewildered and one at one moment seems to pass like a kalpa. Then some of the anubhavas are experienced during meeting and some during separation. This also we learned. And then this bhava which we are talking of is the Vaichitya Vipralambha, that is a particular manifestation of the separation. Even in meeting, there is the feeling of being separated. They are meeting, Radha and Krishna are meeting. Each one is standing in front of the other, but still, when they think after some time there will be separation, that is becoming intolerable. Even a moment separation Even in thinking also that becomes intolerable for the gopis. And even that is for Krishna also. And that is why when the gopis looked upon Krishna for the first time during the meeting at Kurukshetra, they cursed Brahma, the who had created them, because he had created the eyelids with the eyes, because by blinking the eyelids it was obstructing the vision of Krishna. Now you see how advanced they are. When we blink, we do not feel the difference. But the gopis, they were feeling the difference. They were thinking, for some time we are not able to see Krishna. Even the time that elapsed during the blinking of their the eyes became totally unbearable. And in Kurukshetra, when the Mahisis, such as Rukmini, Satyabhama, and others, and the other kings, such as Yudhishthira, saw the uncommon, very wonderful anuraga of the gopis who had come to see Krishna, their hearts were charmed. They had not seen, they had not met the gopis before that. They had heard about them only. And this then this comparison of Kalpa, it comes. Although the night of Rasa Leela was as long as night of Brahma, what we are discussing, it still seemed to be less than a second to the gopis, because they said how it passed so fast. Everything is over in no time only. Though they danced with Krishna the whole night, that is also inconceivable. We cannot, with our material senses, we cannot think of that, we cannot explain that, but it is what it is. And regarding the bhavas of the gopis, the mahabhava of the gopis, mahabhava of Radharani, they're extremely exalted matters, and it is very, very difficult for us to comprehend, though we read them in these great literatures of the Rupa Goswami and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we should try to understand them by reading again and again, and the gist is given in all these slides, because Char Prabhuji has put in so much of effort, and he has made them so simple. If you read the book, it is very difficult to understand, but you get a gist from all these slides. So from all of us, we thank Char Prabhuji for all this. Thank you, Prabhuji, very much. And the time is almost up. Thank you.
Prabhuji, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Next weekend's class is the concluding lessons 46, 47, and 48. I'll try to deliver it from Toronto. I'm going to be in Toronto next weekend, okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
So there's a certain element of uncertainty is there, okay? My flight and everything. Okay, now the time is up now. Unless there are there any more question points? We still have a couple minutes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Raksha Mataji.
Thank
yes,
you,
please.
Prabhuji. So wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, yesterday you told I will told you one good news. आपने कहा था कि एक गुड न्यूज मैं आपको शेयर करूंगा, वो आप बताइए प्रभु जी.
For certainty, for sure, I'm waiting final words, but everything looks pretty good. So I'm going to tell you in my last class, okay? Next weekend. When I know for sure. I know for sure. Okay. Thank you. Any other points, questions? Thank you, Raksha Mataji. And really, I'm very glad to hear your voice back.
Hare Krishna,
okay.
Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, Prabhuji. It was so good. As Sharat Prabhuji said, it is very difficult to read the book. For your time and efforts, really, thank you so much, Prabhuji. No words at all.
All your mercy. Thank you, Ramya. Thank you very much. So now we I'm going to request Sagar Prabhu to conclude the class with his Nrsimha prayer. Hari Bol.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obsession. All go to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhai. Namaste Narasimhai. Praladaladaini. Praladaladaini. Rani Purvaksahar. Rani Purvaksahar. Silatankar Nathale, Silatankar Nathale. Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha. Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha, Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha. By Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha, by Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha. Narasimhamadin Saranam Prapade. Narasimhamadin Saranam Prapade. Tavakala Kamala Bhare. Nakhadbuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanabringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Tavakala Kamala Bhare. Nakhadbuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanabringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, चारु प्रभु की जय, शरद प्रभु की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, ऑल assembled devotee की जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण चारु प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Thank you very much, Sagar Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, all glory to all the Srimad Bhagavatam, all glory to all the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, all glory to all the 6 Sandarbhas, and all glory to all the Vaishnavas. And I really look forward to all of you back tomorrow. There is, now we will do lesson 45. And then next weekend, the final 3 classes will be there. And then following weekend, I'm planning to review the entire course, okay, in 3 sessions. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Charu
Thank you,
Bhaji.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Sarat
Charu
Prabhuji.
Bhaji,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
भानु
Krishna Prabhu.
भानु बहन किधर आ रही है?
Thank you very much. Dandrat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Sarat Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Charu Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam.
Hare Bol.
हरे कृष्ण चारू भाई जी, आप भानु बहन के घर आ रहे हैं भाई जी?
हाँ जी, ये आपको मिलने की इच्छा है, ओके? आप मिलेंगे?
ओह थैंक यू सो मच, भाई जी।
जरूर
Okay.
मिलेंगे आपसे हम लोग, ओके?
जी,
भानु,
जी, जी,
मेरे
जी।
सिस्टर के घर मिलेंगे हम लोग।
हाँ बिल्कुल।
हरे बोल।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare Bol.
Thank you.